Good evening, good evening. Welcome. Oh, that was a bit slow getting on live, whether that's a weather affecting the broadband. Who knows? But good evening, everybody. Welcome. Live stream then. Live stream tonight, completely off the cuff, nothing rehearsed, nothing planned. And just what sort of inspired me, I suppose, for this one is recent weather. So I thought I'd get something, top tips how to keep warm riding in the winter. So let's hope for a bit of an audience. Friday night, I'm aware of that. 8 o'clock, aware of that. Christmas shopping, all of that, I'm aware of that. But just thought, given the recent weather, let's get a bit of a live stream on, get a bit of an audience, and let's share all of our experiences on how we keep warm in the winter. So that is the topic of tonight's live stream, how we all keep warm riding in the winter. Okay. Good evening, Blue Biker. Welcome. Not sure how it's going to pan out tonight, Friday night, 8 o'clock prime time. But had an hour spare, just thought I'd set something up and let's see how we go, because we have been experiencing the last week a drop in the temperature and trainees coming struggling, being cold and so forth. So nothing planned, nothing rehearsed. I'm not here to hard sell any products, just sound advice, bikers to bikers, how we keep warm in the winter. What's the effects of getting cold, where we can buy the gear, what brands you were all wearing. So we just share our own little stories. That's the plan. Okay, so as I say, nothing other than that. So yeah, a few more on now. So welcome to the live stream. Tonight's subject, top tips on how we can keep warm riding in the winter. And we've all got our own ways of keeping warm, and we can just share that. So any questions, any advice, just get it out there, put it on the table, get that chat room going. In the description below, I've got a few links that I've used of my personal experience of products that I've used, and also a link to some products that a few Black Friday deals and stuff at the moment. Biggest bike shop that I know of in the country, biggest selection. We don't get anything for it, but we have a bike school on J&S in Northwich. Selection's as good as I've ever come across. So that's the plan. First of all, then, well done to all those that have been letting me know they've been passing the tests and stuff up and down the country. I've had a fantastic 2 days of tests ourselves. Had some really good results the last couple of days, module 1s, module 2s across all of our sites and all of the test centers that we use. We had some great test results in St. Helens today, and we've had some great test results in Darwin, Blackburn today. So that's good. But yeah, lots of comments about it being cold. So also, well done to those that have been letting me know from up and down the country, our followers. We do have followers up and down the country, as you all know, and people do keep coming away, let me know how they've been getting on their tests. So I've got my flask of coffee ready because it's cold, windy. Forecast isn't brilliant, is it, for the next 24 hours? So we're all sort of watching the forecast overnight very carefully. And if it's looking slightly dodgy, then good chance our lessons will be cancelled. But we'll see how we go. We will see how we go. Windy conditions obviously going to be blowing all the leaves about, isn't it? So there'll be a lot of leaves on the road. So be aware of those if you're out on your bikes. So who's ridden in the cold then? Who's experienced that cold weather on a bike? So who has ridden in the cold and experienced that cold temperature? Because of course, when you ride in a bike, the temperature is going to be dropped considerably more to what the actual temperature is because of what we call the wind chill, because you're riding against the wind, and depending on many factors, that wind chill can drop your temperature down drastically. So who has experienced that drop in temperature? Who has experienced that drop in temperature, and how have you found it? So how have you found that drop in temperature, and how have you dealt with it at the time? Yeah, good evening, Jack. Good evening, Unmuffled Ryan. Good evening, Hader. Yeah. So, I mean, going back to the training side, a lot of people say, I don't want to ride. I'm going to wait now until the spring till it warms up. We always say to people, get your lessons in during the winter, because what a fantastic time of the year to learn to ride in, because you start to appreciate the elements. You don't take them for granted. And there's no such thing as bad weather. There is, though, a such thing as bad gear. But yeah, we're as busy now. We can't tell you how busy we are at the moment. A lot of new business coming in. You can learn in these colder, wetter, damper conditions, then it sets you in good stead for your riding career. So it is, yes, a great time to learn to ride. Good evening, Hader. Yeah, Sophie is running the live stream on Monday. I think or not running it. She's coming in on the live stream on Monday, should I say? Sophie's on the. Sophie is on the. Get me facts right. 29th. So that's. Not tomorrow, Sunday. 29th is Monday. Yeah, Sophie is doing the live stream on Monday. Good evening, Ashley. Yeah, so cold weather. So who has ridden in the cold weather? Who has experienced that cold, that wind chill? And share your experiences, how you've dealt with it. Because as we all know, getting cold is going to affect, and sometimes without you even realizing it, you don't realize that you are slower to respond and react. You're slower to make your decisions, and your concentration is elsewhere. You're not focused on what you're doing. Good evening, Paul. And of course, your mobility is going to be affected. So it affects your senses in many, many ways. And that wind chill, even on a warmer day, that wind chill can affect. First of all, I think from my experience, it's going to affect your fingers and your toes and your head if you're not got the if it's not the got the correct gear on. Your fingers, once they get cold, your toes, once they get cold, once your head gets cold. So lots of downsides to getting cold. And how have you sort of responded to it? So if you have experienced that cold, then it's a good chance you've not got the right gear on and you're unprepared. And I think that's another thing about riding in the cold is being prepared. So being prepared for the cold. Cold, what about the wet? Yeah, so if you get wet and you get cold, this is a bit of a sort of quicker process. So being cold when it's dry is one thing, but if you're getting wet and you're cold, it's like a double whammy, and it's a horrible quicker process. So all of those senses are going to be affected, and then you start becoming a hazard to yourself, and you start becoming a hazard to others. Good evening, Ray, and good evening, Steve. Yeah, so I mean, we're saying a lot of CBT lads coming in for CBT now. Yeah, layer up, and we can provide the basics, of course, but you know, you can help yourselves out. No, you don't. You're not likely to. I've got some great videos in the description below about riding in the rain and riding in snow. You know, if you have to. So I think the things to be considering about keeping warm are going to be your head, your hands, your feet, and then your core. So I think that's a head, hands, feet, and then your body, your core. And I think riding all year round, and there's a lot of us that ride all year round. I think the times that you want to consider not riding in bad weather has got to be ice, or when the temperature's below freezing. So when it's below zero, the temperature, you're going to get that ice, black ice potentially. So those are the times that we would always recommend, if you've got a choice, alternate ways. But you know, some of us don't. Some of us do ride all year round, and there's ways that you can sort of ride, just taking it all a lot steadier. But a great video riding in the snow in the description below, so you can have a look at those. And we'll go on to some sort of clothing bits and bobs in a minute, and you can just keep firing all this information to me and see where it goes. As I say, there's no set formula for this live stream. I'm not here to tell you to go and buy this or tell you to go buy that. It's all just sound advice, one biker to another. But let's think about keeping warm and dry on a bike. That's what this topic is tonight, keeping warm on a bike in the winter. Dry, you need to keep dry as well. But think about, aside from all the clothing, think about your bike and the style of bike that you ride. And as an example, if you've got a windshield, a fairing, and you know, that can protect the wind coming toward. I used to ride a Pan-European, the Honda Pan-European, and the protection that the windshield will give you from that was absolutely fantastic. It would have fairing to keep your legs protected, and to a certain extent your feet and hands because of the guards. But also you'd have things like heated grips that can come on a bike. That definitely helps. Got some links below for heated grips at J&S Accessories. Things like heated seats on a bike. So those are all things that, aside from what you're wearing, the style of bike that you ride in, and what sort of electrical heating equipment they have attached to the bike. So you can get heated seats, you can get heated grips on a bike, which are you know, absolutely invaluable. Peter, good evening. First time on the live stream. It's a new name. If it is, like the video, like the channel, subscribe. Have a look back through the playlist. There's so many videos on CBTs that give you a good health start. So Peter Bowness, yeah, welcome to the live stream. And Ray Fraser, if you're a newbie as well. CBT on Tuesday. Play back some of the videos on the live stream. I did a live stream last night actually on CBT, some fantastic top tips and stuff, exercises, lessons, briefs, so you get a really good idea about what's going on. Steve Ecclesall, did my CBT in the pouring rain. Yeah, I mean, last few months on and off, lots of rain. And then, of course, you get, if you've not got the right git, get cold, it's uncomfortable, don't enjoy it. So it is important to be prepared. Builder socks will keep your toes warm. Absolutely. Yep. Do your 600cc bike grips. Yep. Most of we do have. I'm not saying all of them have, Steve, but some do. Yes, heated grips. So the Suzuki SV650s have heated grips. The newer carriers, we've not got them on, but I think we will be putting them on. But we do have some with heated grips. Yes. But go and check out RJH merchandise. Yeah, we've got some, yeah. RJH for our super fans. Yeah, there it is. Pin. We've got bobble hats, beanies. Got quite a bit actually. Come along now, RJ, for any RJH super fans. Big Gabs 19. Aircon can make miracles. Yep, aircon. It can. So the bike itself, there's, depending on the style of bike that you're buying, riding, gadgets, although you can put, certainly you can put heated grips on most. Some bikes have heated seats. I don't know of any, how you fit a heated seat to any bike, but some of the bigger tourer bikes have heated seats, so that's worth considering if you're riding all year round. Depends whether you're riding all year round or not. You know, as a bike instructor, you're riding all year round, so you know, we like to have the right tools of the trade. RJH, yeah, that's it. That's one of these. See, we've got these RJH pin badges. What are they? $5.99, I think. Link below. So buy one of them. Yeah, well, I'm not guaranteed they'll keep you warm, but I'll tell you what, they'll do a good job to keep you warm. And you've not sent your address, Rob, so I can send one of these to you for winning the competition last night. So don't forget to email me your address, and I will pop it in the post. So let's think then. That we talked about keeping warm, why you need to keep warm. And of course, on a bike, you are out there in the open, you're exposed to all the elements. So warm, dry. You need to keep yourself warm and dry, particularly. Yeah, so merino wool. Yep. There's a company, isn't there, that do undergarments for motorcycles, which is made of merino wool. Is it Seal or something I've heard of? Sure, it's Seal. So keeping your limbs warm. So we've got riding a motorcycle year round is no easy task. Impossible in some places. So you got to be sensible. A lot can be learned from staying warm and what not to do from those brave the cold and wet winter. So first things to start getting cold are going to be your fingers, your toes, your head. So I suppose the first thing you want to be thinking about is the base layers. Yeah, well done, Rob. The base layers. So any of the garments that you wear a base layer underneath. Now, there's so many different companies doing a base layer. I've seen Aldi, the supermarket, do base layers for motorcyclists, and it's a really fine fabric, and it can be merino wool, it can be cotton, whatever, silk, but this base layer can fit underneath gloves, underneath your socks, underneath your trousers, underneath your t-shirt or whatever. It's on your skin. It's that layer that is onto your skin. So I suppose that's probably one of the first things, is your base layers. Crane, I think that's Aldi, isn't it? Aldi make that. That's a brand from Aldi, is Crane. I've had that in the past, and it's cracking. You know, it's a cracking base layer. And then that's going to aid to keep the warm in, because of course in the winter, in the summer normal you get warm, in the winter you get cold, because that heat sort of focuses on keeping your organs warm, but not exterior. So that base layer will keep the warm in. That's my understanding of it. So a base layer is essential. Then I think you can probably look at your heated undergarments. So in the last few years, you start getting some heated undergarments, and I popped a few links below. So Keis do them. I think that's Gerbing do them. Some really sort of top brands of undergarments, a Paragon and Keis. A couple of links below from J&S. And of course, you can plug those all into a unit, so you can have a undergarment, a vest padded. You can have underpants heated. Sorry, vest heated, pants or leggings heated. You can have socks heated, gloves heated. So you can have quite a lot underneath all of your gear that is heated. So your base layer is probably first port of call, and then your liners, base layers, liners, and then neck tubes, balaclavas, snoods, all these sort of things that can help. But then I'd say you go to your heated, where you can plug them all into a console, can be powered off of your bike, and that is like, the only way I can describe it is a bit like a sleeping bag. A heated blanket. So, you know, if you put a heated blanket on and get into bed and you've got a warmth, I think that's how I can sort of describe the underheated garments. But then, of course, that's going to keep that warm. It's going to keep you warm. It's powered off the bike. It's a fantastic piece of kit, worth the investment. Yeah, heated undergloves, heated undergarments first of all, and then, you know, whatever you're putting over the top is gonna sort of aid you into it, is going to aid you. So that's a good starting point. But then you can start moving on to what you're going to wear over the top. So personally wouldn't recommend your leather for winter riding. So I'd leave your leathers alone. I'd go for your textiles. So textiles are going to come in different brands and different qualities. I mean, I've been riding all my life. Best piece of kit I've worn all my life is the one I'm wearing now, and I've got the link down below, but it's a £2,000 suit, you know, Rucker. It's a laminated Gore-Tex, but for me, it's the best one. But, you know, you can get Reacher do Gore-Tex, Oxford do Gore-Tex, you know, sort of 500 quid, 600 quid, and go upwards, but you get what you pay for. And, you know, we're all on a budget, but over garments, I think your top layer has got to be textile, man-made. You know, waterproof, windproof, wind resistant, this sort of thing. So 1-piece, 2-piece, that type of thing. That's got to be the what I would recommend on the top. Yeah, I would recommend on the top. Yeah, so Oxford Advanced Rider Series. So any link you've got, Big Gabs, pop it on there. Because, you know, there is so much out there, and you guys have got the experience of what you're wearing out there in the winter as well. So pass it on to all of the newbies. But yeah, there's just sort of different layers, isn't there? So you've got your base layer, and then you've got your undergarment, your liners, then you've got your heated, and then you've got your textile, is what I'd recommend. And you can go on then on top of that, as Big Gabs has mentioned, in a waterproof suit over the top, which are great, obviously, to keep the rain out, but they can also keep the wind out. So, you know, you can have sort of like 3, 4, 5 layers over the top. Important thing, I suppose, make sure you're comfortable and you're still able to move, you're mobile. You don't want to build up those layers and then feel that you can't move, because on a bike, you do need to be able to move. You need to be able to be flexible. Good evening, Sylvia. Here she is. And we just mentioned you, Sylvia, earlier on. Some nice tests up in St. Helens today. John had some nice tests over in Darwin today. And here's Sophie, our other lady instructor. So we've got Team RGH on now. Top tips, ladies and gents, on keeping warm, winter riding. So I've talked about Sylv, talked about the and Sophie, you've talked about the base layers. Yeah, the benefits of those base layers, keeping that warmth in, the circulation, minimizing letting the heat out. Then I've talked about the heated garments over the top of the base layers that you can plug in, heated under gloves, heated under trousers, heated under socks, and so forth. Then I've talked about undergarments, so cold killers, that type of thing. And then up to the textile is more favorable in the winter than leather. So waterproof, windproof. A few links in the description below. So we're just coming on to above the textile. Big Gabs mentioned about an Oxford oversuit, a waterproof oversuit, which is great for keeping you dry, but also keeping you from the wind. Now, I mean, my experience in those overgarments, Big Gabs, is the sweat condensation, not breathable. That's my sort of reservation about it. But I have to say, I'm not familiar with the Oxford Advanced Rider Series, so maybe they are breathable. Don't sort of get wet underneath through condensation. A heated helmet. Not had one of them before. But yeah, balaclavas. We've got neck tubes, various different items to go under there. Because, of course, the areas that you're going to lose the heat from more than that is your head. I think the head is where you lose it. Go. And first thing to get cold is going to be your hands and your feet. And then it'll go into your core. Once your core gets cold, that's where you're going to be feeling it a little bit. Monday, the 29th. Yeah, as I said, we've got live stream link. We've got links below of riding in the rain and riding in the snow. Talking about your helmets, what about riding in the winter in your helmets? Who's all favourable of the pin locks? Do we all have the pin locks? And the benefit of the pin lock visor is that it, you know, anti-mist. Gone are the days where you're riding along with a helmet and your visor steams up, you can't see anything. You do not need to be in that situation. Pin locks, yeah, never go back. I think once you've had a pin lock, you won't go back. Got a video in the description below about pin locks if anybody wants to know what they... Don't know whether the toy run will be going ahead, Sophie, will it, if the weather's as forecast, but they can get it wrong. It sounds a bit blowy outside now, mind. They can get it wrong. We also talked about the style of bike can protect you against the elements. So if you've got windshield, fairings, they can all protect your body against the elements, that headwind and so forth. So do think about that, heated seats and stuff. What else have we got then? And that's that one. Keeping your limbs warm, very important. Keeping your head, keep your head warm, and the rest will follow. So helmets are crucial. Not all helmets are created equal. So do think about those layers, balaclava, neck tubes, stuff like that. Get a cold head, you can get headaches. Yeah, if your head gets cold, you can get a headache, and then you start becoming a bit of a hazard. Saying preparation. So there's no such thing as bad weather. What it is bad gear. So wear the correct gear. Yeah, keep your neck hidden from the wind. It always gets uncovered for me. Most, yeah, you've just got to have my jacket's got a very special, like built-in neck, which comes up underneath the lid, so I can still move my head about, but really keeps all of me, the back of me, and I'm perfectly mobile, but does tend to work for me. Staying dry means staying warm longer. Yeah, so it's, yeah, great. Keep them warm, keep them warm, keep them warm. But if it's raining, then you also need to keep dry. If you don't keep dry, you're not going to get cold quicker. I mean, I can remember, I don't know anybody else in here, but back in the days, going back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, I can remember pulling on the side of the road and taking my gloves off, leaving the engine running on the bike and putting my gloves on the exhaust to thaw them out and keep them warm. So when I put my hands back in, they get warm. And I've also been in a situation where I've pulled in to get some fuel, and without realizing, I'd got so cold I couldn't get off the bike. Took me forever to even get the petrol into it, and then I couldn't get my wallet out, couldn't pay. I totally should not have been on the road. So, you know, we've all been there. You don't go there. It's not enjoyable then, and then you're not going to ride. But yes, Sophie, there's no such thing as bad weather. What there is bad gear. So if you've got the right gear on, it's absolutely fantastic riding in the winter. And look down below at my videos of riding in the snow. I mean, on my GS Adventure, I had knobblers on. It used to go out on the snow and have good fun. It used to be really enjoyable. But you've got to be sensible. You know your own limitations, and it's your responsibility to make your own decision. So I'm not telling you to go and do this and go and do that. At the end of the day, that's not what we're here to do. Yeah, have a good trip back in the wind, Sophie, and you won't use so much fuel. Yeah, Storm Arwen is already here, but it's looking more northeast than northwest on the news. So the news is saying Scotland northeast. It's not the northwest so much. So I'm hoping this is as bad as it's going to be. Yeah, ACF 50, fantastic product. ACF 50, fantastic. Rust prevention. Yes. What's that? That's why you get a smartwatch. You can pay like that. Yeah, you can. Nowadays, it wasn't around 30 years ago, Ashley. 30 years ago, it wasn't around. You can pay with your phone now. But no, Rob, ACF 50 is great. We use on the bikes. I use ACF 50 on mine. I haven't got a new bike, but if I get a new bike, it'll get that ACF 50 straight on it. But ACF 50 is good, not for the school bikes because we're washing them all the time. But ACF 50, GT85 we use, and even coating all your switches and your ignition barrels and all the moving parts on a bike with WD-40. Keep everything moving, keep everything lubricated. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, something like that back in the day. That was down the M6. I was up in Moffat actually at the time, believe it or not. I can remember it now, riding down from Moffat. Had a meal with some friends in Moffat. I came back early and came back down the M6. And that coastal wind was absolutely battering me. I was on the old Honda DeVille. And I was down to at times on the motorway 10, 15 mile an hour. It was coming back after midnight. So I left about 10:30. What was it? 3-hour trip down to where I was living. Absolutely horrendous trip, and didn't realize it was as bad as what it was until I needed to fuel up. And that's where it then made me realize I should not be on the bike. Yeah, Big Ab's great. Yeah, go touchy-feely, try on. J&S Accessories, 30 stores nationwide. Yeah, buying online is great, but you don't get that opportunity to see whether this brand is going to fit you, this brand is suitable. You just don't get all that. Every year I keep saying I'm going to buy some heated clothing, and we've got a couple of instructors now that have started buying it, and I'm thinking, yeah, that is what I'm going to do. It cost me a few £100, but I'm going to get some heated underclothes. I've never really felt that bad that I need it, but as you get older, yeah, you do feel it a bit more. So good evening, AW8. Yeah, Rob, it was scary, down to about 15 mile an hour on the M6. That crosswind pushing you to the inside lane, pushing, and you're fighting it, and you're fighting it, and fighting it. I think back in those days, it's all I could think was I was fighting bloody Mike Tyson. I was getting an absolute battering. And I tell you what, when I went to fill up with petrol, you know what happens when you stop off to get petrol? So, okay, fill up with petrol. Yeah, you want to go and have a pee and all that sort of stuff, don't you? Oh my God, I must have been in there an hour. I must have been in the services an hour trying to get off the bike, open up the petrol, fill it up with petrol, doing all that, then getting the bleeding gloves, getting me wallet, and trying to go to the loo was just a different bloody thing. I might as well just have peed myself because it was near on impossible, and didn't realize until I got off the bike how bad it was. That's what you need to be careful of riding in the winter, is not letting the elements get to you without you realizing. Yeah, Oxford heated grips are fantastic. Oxford, I've got Oxford on a few of the bikes. Tidy piece of kit, £100, get them fitted. Job done. job done. Yeah, I've often thought that riding in the winter about when you stop off to go to the toilet, and all those layers and everything. Surely you should be able to design a little tube that you can just feed it down through the inside leg. So when you're riding along, you have this little tube and you just go for a pee or something, and then it can just, come out on the road, can't it? No, I'm not at that stage yet, Ashley. I don't need to wear a nappy. I'm not quite that bad. Not yet. So keep him warm then. Keeping dry means keeping warm longer. Be mentally prepared for staying warm and possibly being cold. Don't underestimate those elements. Do not underestimate those elements. So good attitude, be mentally prepared. So we talked about the bike then. We talked about some gear. And what about things like this? Be hydrated. And fueled up food. Make sure you got plenty of food. You're not hungry. So here's something. Additionally, dehydration causes an accumulation of cells to support a system that's starving for fuel. So an 8-ounce glass of water will go a long way to keeping you warm. And drinking room temperature water will allow your body to process the H2O faster, hydrating you sooner. So water. Something as simple as that, isn't it? Understanding when it's too cold for you to ride. So ultimately, that's your decision, isn't it? Ultimately, your decision when you're out on your bike, you will decide whether you think it's too cold or not. So when your core temperature reaches 95 degrees Fahrenheit, you're hypothermic. Your body will begin to shiver to generate heat. So what's the normal core temperature? Is about 97? Is our normal core temperature 97? I think it is. Let me just have a look. I'll just Google that. Core body temperature. Yeah, 97. So your normal core body temperature is about 37 degrees. Okay. Let's see where we just missed it now. $37 degrees. There we go. 37. No, I've got myself muddled up. 99. 97. There we go. So understanding when it's too cold for you to ride. Where are we on here? Just go to the nearest cost machine and burger van. Yeah. A brew flask. The bike in Dumb and Dumber was class. Yeah, geez. Classic never lasts much. Not you're talking about Dumb and Dumber. Fantastic. Yeah. Understanding when it's too cold to ride then. So your core body temperature is around about 97 degrees. And if it drops down to 95 degrees, you're hypothermic. That's not a lot, is it? So if you feel your body beginning to shiver to generate heat, and you'll likely be unable to do much of anything. So my experience, I've experienced that on that trip down from Moffat. As you call, temperature drops beyond that, you'll encounter muscle stiffness followed by involuntary contraction and confusion. Being aware of these symptoms is the first step to preventing them. So being a tough guy or gal is too often associated with motorcycling. So if you do start feeling yourself shivering, that's when you need to be thinking you shouldn't really be riding, I would say. So understand when it is too cold. But you can prevent that by from the discussion we've had, because obviously when I was, that was sort of 25 odd years ago, there wasn't heated grips, there wasn't heated clothing, there wasn't heated seats, I didn't have a pin lock visor. So all those sorts of things can help you stay warm, stay dry longer. So hopefully that sort of helps some of you. No such thing as bad weather, bad gear. In the description below, we've got pin lock video, top tips on bike gear, neck tubes, essential top tips riding in the snow, top tips riding in the rain. I've got a video on the suit that I'm wearing at the moment. I find is the best suit I've ever had, and the winter gloves. So have a look at those. Best section of bike gear. Put the link down to J&S. 30 stores nationwide, and also some products at the moment could be of interest. Oxford heated grips, Keis heated vest, Paragon heated gloves, Keis premium heated gloves. Those are sort of things I'm going to be looking at. I think Keis is a brand, Keis. The vest, the gloves, the whole sort of undergarment. I think that for me is probably going to be one of my next investments. And if I do get that, I'll certainly do a review on them. But it's price obviously is a big thing for everybody. Gareth, good evening. Gareth Price. Yeah, the chill factor is the biggest problem. If it's, say, like 5C out, that's cold. But if you're going, say, 50, the chill factor is like, yes, correct. Because obviously the speed that you're traveling and hitting that wind chill, it's probably one of the most underestimated or unrecognized disadvantages is the wind chill. And you can experience the wind chill at all times of the year. So well done for that. Yeah, wind chill is a big obstacle, which is where, if you got the bike with the fairing, my old Pan-European just used to go straight over the top. It was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'm sure that time will come, Hader. It does depend how much time you're going to be riding. If you're riding 12 months to the year, if you're riding for a few hours, just depends. But in the winter time, of course, that wind chill can take effect in minutes. Your feet and your hands can get cold so quickly. I've had it where, it can be 10 minutes down the road and already cold. Yeah, even already cold. Robbie, at the moment, I've got my Altbergs road runners, and I've also got my Daytona Gore-Tex GTXs, I think they are. So I've got a couple of pairs on the go. I've got my Altberg road runners, and I've got my Daytona GTXs, which reminds me, I should put a review down below, product review, because I've got, if you go on the playlist, the product reviews, I've got videos of both of those because I compared them both in the playlist. Both fantastic gloves, both fantastic boots. Daytona Travel Star Gore-Tex. Mine aren't the Travel Star. I'll tell you what they are now, and if I get them, I might even try and see while I'm on here, see if I can put the link in below for you. So if I go to my playlists, I've got a playlist of product reviews, and in there I've got my instructors Altberg Roadrunners. Come on, where's the other one? GTX. So I did let me do this now. It's the Daytona GTX. So I'm going to do one here. And you'll see it in a moment below. I'm going to put it in there and there. And then you've got it. So it's the Altberg versus Daytona boots review. Okay, Rob, so in the description below, I've got my Daytona Roadrunner, my Altberg Roadrunner versus my Daytona GTX product review, both fantastic pieces of kit. What I find about the Daytona is it's lightweight, and why I went for the Daytona, because I had a few. It's something as simple as this. I'll tell you what it is, because they're both really good pieces of kit. I've worn Altberg for 20, 30 years, whatever. Go over to Rushden, over that way, and get them. And fantastic, good repair service. It's basically a mountain boot sole upper. So they're really good for the job when you're running around the CBT pad and stuff like that. Really good for the job. Then I wanted something a bit smarter, because I was going for a couple of meetings where I was on my bike, and I wanted a smarter looking boot. So I went for the Daytona because they polish up nicely. They look a nicer, smarter bike boot. So that's why. So I run the two together. I'm quite happy to wear either or. Both really, really good. If anything, the Daytona was just a bit smarter for the meetings that I had to go to. Good evening, Lisa. Nice of you to join us. Getting a bit empty, this, if anybody can hear me. Getting a bit empty. Ashley Hader. Yeah, Ashley is already on the market for purchase. Ashley has already started making purchases at RGH, so leave him alone. He's contributing to my retirement fund, aren't you, Ashley? So yeah, good. So probably pretty much there, I suppose. What I might do is I'll just go through my videos as well and see if there's any other reviews that I've done on winter sort of products that I could put in the description below. I forgot about those boots, but I put some gloves, put some Gore-Tex gloves and stuff reviews. But yeah. Did they look after you, Steve? Fantastic. Yeah, we've got a bike school on J&S in Northwich. That's the biggest sort of superstore, they call it. But yeah, you can go in there and they will give you a discount for, yeah, it's just that relationship we got with them. So great. That's good stuff. If you've got time, Mohammed, but you don't want to take your eye off where you're going. If you've got time, I mean, to be honest with you, you can look in your mirror signal and Lifesaver coming off a roundabout if you're, you know. So what I'm going to do, Mohammed, is I'm going to put a little video in the description for you. And I want you to watch it because I did a video. It's a fantastic video. And this will help you. And that'll answer you. But are you subscribed to the channel, Mohammed? And if you're not, please do so. But what I would say is that we've got playlists on Module 2 stuff, so have a look. And also lots of Mod 2 videos. So here's a link for you, Mohammed, which is some tutorial on roundabouts. That'll answer all your questions. Okay, but what I would say to anybody watching, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It really does help. Really does help. You're welcome, Mohammed. Where are you doing your test on next week? Where are you doing it? Whereabouts are you located? So riding the, yeah, what about riding in the smoke? Because I can hear the wind outside now. What about, how do you all go with that then? Talked about keeping warm and dry. How do you go on riding in the wind? Because I suppose the wind exaggerates the wind chill, doesn't it? So the wind will exaggerate the wind chill, get you cold. But how are you responding with the wind? What's everybody's experience on that? Because I know if I'm riding the wind, I suppose for me it depends what bike I'm riding. So if I'm riding a naked bike, it's going to affect me a lot more, the wind. And if I'm riding a touring bike, the wind sort of, you've got more mass. It can act like a sail as well. So the bigger the bike, the heavier the bike, and the wind has got more mass to have that contact against. So I think with the wind, it just depends on how strong the wind is, but also how big the bike is. And the bigger the bike, the more it's going to catch you. The less mass the naked bike, the more that it can disappear. Oh, thank you very much. Careful on there. Lovely. Thank you. Oh, I've got a nice little, I do get looked after, you know. So, oh, this is worth a look at this. See how I get looked after because it's cold. So I've got 2 little shortbread biscuits and a nice latte. Oh, how nice is that? It's just so I can stay on here for another 10 minutes. A nice latte. Hey, you pay for that at one of the cafe shops. So very important to take into account the wind. Yeah. And If you've not got the right gear, the wind is going to make you get colder quicker. And get cold, wet and cold. Yeah. So bear that in mind. Yeah, the little 125s as well, because they're light, aren't they? The little 125s are light. So certain areas are you're gonna catch it more. So how do you respond to it then? Oh, TV RC4 CCR. Wow, that's a name, isn't it? Any tips? I have my CBT tomorrow. I used to ride. Right. So first of all, have a look at subscribe to the channel, have a look at the videos that we've got on CBT. We've got loads and loads of videos and live streams. But what I'd say at this stage is enjoy it. My top tips would be enjoy it. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, then subscribe and watch the playlists of videos. That is what I would say. Crosswinds are not nice. But for me, I'll tell you what really ticks the boxes for me. Is that what I would say? Yeah, one thing that ticks the boxes for me is in poor weather. So if it's cold and it's wet and it's dark and it's damp and the roads are busy, and I love it when I can just make that progress and filter and all these one person in a car, dozens and dozens and dozens of them not getting anywhere because they're stuck. And that ticks the boxes for me because I've got all the good gear on. I'm warm, I'm not cold, I'm enjoying the bike, and the conditions are absolutely appalling, but I'm making that progress. And that just does it one to me. Robbie, tips for rain, Rob. Any products for putting on visor, run, wipe? Yeah, I think a description below, Rob, on my top tips riding in the rain. I'm sure I mentioned the product Rain-X. We've generally all heard of Rain-X. Keep the visor scratch-free and clean. Rain-X is fantastic. If you don't want to go out and spend a tenner or whatever on Rain-X, the best thing is to go under the cupboard in your cleaning cupboard, Mr. Sheen, and just polish it with Mr. Sheen, honestly, and the water just ooze off, not a problem. So I would say Rain-X, my favorable. Failing Rain-X, just use Mr. Sheen. The key is to keep it scratch free, and this time of the year, get that visor cleaned every day. So as that TBRC4 CCR, have you subscribed? Let's see that subscription count go up one for me, if you wouldn't mind. What else? Riding in the rain, and also riding in the rain. All the tips are in that video, Rob. Following distances, how you use your brakes, all those crucial things. Man, congratulations, passing module 2 A2 yesterday. Barely. What do you mean barely? Was it a close call? And man, did the videos help? Did the live streams help? If so, let us know, mate. Yeah, we've got a few CBTs on tomorrow. So told Sylvie, don't do anything until the morning. Don't cancel anything until your morning. 6 rider faults, were you allowed? 10. It's all right. 6, not bad. What bike did you use on an A2 then? We use the Kawasaki Z400s. Great stuff. So are you subscribed to the channel then, man? Yes. Yeah, 6 out of 10 isn't bad. I'd be happy with that. 9 out of 10, then you're lucky. 6 out of 10, good result, I would say, for yourself under 24. Suzuki Gladius 650s, that would have been restricted on an A2. I'd go with that, 6 faults. Cheers, everybody. A nice latte. Pay £4 for this in the coffee shop. Yeah, so also any, like for yourself as well, a man, and we've got a few that come on the live streams and let us know that they pass the test, which is fantastic. And they let us know the videos have helped and stuff like that. And all I really ask you to do is to stay subscribed, but also, you know, when we have live streams, pop in from time to time and contribute, because you, having gone through and passed your test now, you've got that experience that a lot of these new riders want. So if there's new riders on here, they'd love to hear your take on how the test was, what you did, you felt you could have done better, or, and you know, because we can all help each other out. It's not just me. I can waffle on and waffle on and waffle on, but you all have experience that you can share with each other. So great, you've come on, let us know you passed, well done, really pleased. And you know, it makes us make more videos knowing that it helps you all out. But from time to time, I'm not saying come on every video, I'm not after that, come on every live stream. It's not sustainable, it's not going to happen. But from every now and then, from time to time, rejoin the live stream, contribute and share your experience, and that enables us all to help from each other. And Mal, well done, glad to help. Like, so just without repeating all what I've just said, great, stay on the channel, stay subscribed, because I know we do get people that use the channel, pass, and then they go on to do their, you know, live their lives, which is what we all do. But stay subscribed, that's all I ask in return, and contribute. Oh man, yeah. So, well, you can play back the live stream. We've got it all on there, but in the description below, I put some for me. We've all going to have a budget, aren't we? But you buy the best you can afford. And I think if you want the wet weather, for me, it's got to be Gore-Tex. Now, Gore-Tex comes in different forms, laminated Gore-Tex and stuff, and different brands. So different brands are going to cost you differently. You know, you can spend under £500 for a Gore-Tex suit. You can spend over £2,000 for a Gore-Tex suit. But I always recommend going for Gore-Tex. And some links below, check them out. But riding in the winter, keep dry, keep warm. Gore-Tex is it's got to be the Gore-Tex. And then you can put an oversuit over the top as well. You know, you can get those oversuits on. Somebody, Big Gabs, I think, mentioned the Oxford waterproof series rainwear oversuits, which I suppose you could put over anything, couldn't you? But yes, building up them layers. Oh, just looking at this, Mike, I'll show you this. I don't know whether it's too big to show you. I've got this tucked away on the side here. Can anybody read that? That's what I look at when I'm doing my live streams. Born to be wild, live to ride, ride to live. Look at that every time I'm on my live stream, as well as other little bits. Who's seen this one? Who's seen this one? Yeah, goes on the door. A few little things tucked away. So, ladies and gents, Mal, working to Mal, passing October, and I still like to drop into the chats. Fantastic, Mal. Thank you very much for that. Mod 1 and 2 chats really help with tips. Fantastic. That's all we ask. That is all we ask. And the live streams are certainly now an ongoing focus to the channel. So daily, not weekly, certainly once a week, maybe twice a week. Sometimes this week I think I've got 3 or 4. Through the winter, as the training side slows down a bit, although at the moment it's still very busy, then we'd be doing more. Certainly looking at something special in December. Somebody mentioned the 12 days up to Christmas, but I've been thinking of doing a live stream. Some sort, I don't know, thoughts on live streams through December. One a night might be too much, I don't know, but thinking cap is on. Right, so we've not done too bad there then. We've had quite a lot of interaction, which is good. Just remind everybody again, the video was all about top tips for riding in the top tips on how to keep warm riding in the winter. So I'm hoping it's been useful to some of you. And it is, Big Gabs, a day on the bike is the best mental therapy. It's riding the bike is really good for your well-being. And, you know, it really, really is. It's so good on so many levels. So you're spot on, Big Gabs. Absolutely spot on. So yeah, hour and quarter. That's not bad then for something that was really off the cuff. It wasn't. I only put it up last night, so it wasn't really anything major. It was just a bit of contribution. Everybody's got their own little tips. No, Gareth, I've not done Route 66. I did. I always said over the years, I always said when I get to 50, I want to do the Route 66. And then my 50th came around and I didn't do it. But what I did do instead, and I've got it on the playlist, my European tours, it was 2015. So when I turned 50, I did a 8 countries tour, 5,000 miles, 8 countries. And went down to Spain, but I did 8 countries down to Spain and back, and that was my sort of long one. Route 66, I've never been to America, so Route 66, sorry, I'm in America now. Can you not see the Route 66 behind me? I can't even remember where I am. So it's at my time now, it's not on my to-do list. No, it's not on my to-do list. On my to-do list now is to spend more time in Spain, and I want to take the bike. We've not got a bike down in Spain, but want to take a bike down. My goal is to spend more time in Spain on the bike. So rather than Route 66 America isn't on my to-do list at the moment. Whether that changes again, it was on my to-do list, it's not now. The important thing is to get on your bike and enjoy it. So, that's the key, isn't it? Yeah, so I think we're at that point then, ladies and gents. I'm going to be loving you and leaving you. Once again, I thank you very much for contributing and joining. Stay safe if you're out tomorrow on the bikes. Weather conditions are not brilliant, so stay safe. And I will be back on Sunday evening, Bob the Biker. So hopefully I will see you then. All right. So all the best, everyone. Bye for now. Bye.